It's time to get chiseled with Rob Commodari.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Chiseled. And why do we call it Chiseled? Because we're all a work in progress. I'm your host. I'm Rob Commodari. I'm also the author of the book Better Than You Think and co-author of 3 others. Today, I have my cousin and we'll call him Nature Boy today.
I like that.
Chris Fusco, originally from Wilmington, Delaware, now in Salida, Colorado, or just outside of Salida, Colorado. And Christopher's going to talk to us about living life on his terms today and a fitness program he has. And I'm just going to read a quick intro for you. And it goes from burnout to the mountains. So Christopher's been passionate about fitness since high school, but a demanding career led to burnout, exhaustion, and unsustainable training habits. By 2020, frequent trips to Colorado made it clear that it wasn't as fun as fit as he wanted to be for the mountain lifestyle he truly desired. Initially, he tried grinding harder, as we all do. And if you look in the back of my head to the right there, it says grind. So initially, he tried grinding harder, spending 10 to 15 hours a week in the gym, which only resulted in injury and feeling years older than he was. The real shift came with the minimal effective dose, 2 to 3 full body strength sessions per week, paired with mountain sports like hiking, biking, and snowboarding. He adopted Eric Casey's training frameworks and prioritized adaptability, swapping heavy lifts for a 20-minute kettlebell session or a long walk when needed. This approach made fitness consistent, sustainable, and fit for his lifestyle instead of fighting it. The result? Christopher moved to Colorado, built the All Mountain Athlete Project, and has helped over 100 athletes achieve sustainable fitness to crush mountain sports without burnout. He doesn't just coach his lifestyle, he lives it. Christopher, thank you for being here. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Rob.
Yeah, it's good to see you. And by the way, if I can mention to everybody, this is Christopher's first podcast, so we got to give him a little bit of grace here.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes, but I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, so Christopher's a cousin of mine, and he's moved out to Colorado, and he's just always posting really cool and beautiful pictures of either snowboarding, mountain biking, or the mountains in itself, and the snow and the beauty of it all. And I just saw him recently at an event or a wedding, and I just told him I love what he's doing, and he loves what he's doing. And you can see it's obvious that Christopher has chosen to live life on his terms. So, Christopher, thanks so much for being here, and obviously kind of already read about how you got to where you are. So when you first moved out to Colorado, was there any apprehension, any fear, or are you like, this is it, I'm going for it?
Yeah, it's funny because I kind of had decided that I wanted to move to Colorado before I had even visited. And then I took my first trip in September of 2020 to see a friend. And at that point I was like, wow, I love this place. I got to come back. So then I came back December 2020 that year was my first winter trip. And at that point, it was just like, cool, I have to move here because it's everything that I like to do at home, but far better.
So when you first moved out there, because I know you were a workout, called a gym rat or workout fiend here in Maryland at the time. And when you moved out there, was the plan to go out there and set up a training program, or you just wanted to get out there first?
So that was kind of the hard part to figure out because it was coming from where I was being in a gym and only doing in-person training. My thought was, okay, well, if I had an opportunity to move in with my friend's parents, and my thought was, cool, that's great. It's a great stepping stone. But I get there, and then what? I build a clientele base, and I'm in Denver, it's a great stepping stone, but it's not a place that I want to ultimately end up. So say I move to a small mountain town, then I have to build a whole client base all over again. And that was, most of the mental bandwidth at the beginning. And then COVID happened, which, as terrible as it was for a ton of people, it was kind of the best thing that probably ever could have happened to me, because for where I was in a position where, cool, my salary is based on revenue that I generate for this company. So if I have to keep my salary, I have to find a way to generate more revenue. So that was the kind of thing that threw me into the online space. I started doing some mentorships, learning from some other people as far as how to build an online coaching training business. And I started that before I moved, and then I took it with me, and that's the thing that I've been tweaking, adjusting, refining for the last 4 years now, 4.5 years now.
Yeah, it's great. So you already had an online program before you went to Colorado. Is that right?
Yeah, so I started it. I mean, there's some similarities and some differences, but the model that I have now is I love it. Like I get to work with really cool people who do really cool things, and I'm not stuck to being in a gym for 12 hours a day, 5 days a week or 4 days a week, whatever. So it's awesome.
Because you were training people in a gym.
Yeah, it was a physical therapy clinic, and I was their director of human performance. So I did all the strength and conditioning stuff, which is great. Like I learned a ton, especially being in a smaller studio or smaller space, um, and being able to learn a lot as far as tons of different populations. There's youth athletes all the way up to post hip replacements or old people in their 80s, weekend warriors, everything in between. So yeah, I learned a lot, but I was doing it in person, and then the shift to do it online was a learning curve, but it's worked out now.
Yeah, you've done well with it. So how did it go with your existing clients? Your existing clients here in Maryland,
Mhm.
and I guess you had already started doing some Zoom stuff with them because you said COVID hit and you had to do it.
Yeah.
How did they receive the fact that Christopher's moving out of Maryland, is going to Colorado?
They were all stoked. I mean, they knew that I love biking, I love snowboarding, I love climbing, and to them, they're all just like, "Yeah, this makes sense for you. Yeah, I mean, your family's here and you can do these things here, but you're ready for more." So it was interesting because in the beginning of COVID, a lot of the clients that I had, it was just, "Oh, cool. We're just going to work out in your living room over Zoom." And then some of those people decided to come with me. They wanted to keep doing it. So we kept that going when I moved. Um, a lot of the people, I'd say most stayed just because there's a dynamic that some people just prefer or need in-person training. The online model just doesn't work for everybody, and that's fine. But yeah, I had some people that followed with me. I have some that are still doing it with me, which is awesome. This new model that I've got, but yeah, so, the general consensus was everybody was like, "Yeah, this makes sense for you. We can totally see why you're doing this," and everyone was super stoked and super supportive. So it was great.
That's great. So tell me about how the training is it body, is it CrossFit, is it body weight, is it weights, and is it training to prepare you for the mountain biking and the hiking, or is the hiking and mountain biking part of the training?
All the above. So, I mean, my personal background of training, like I've done CrossFit kind of stuff, I've done bodybuilder kind of stuff, I've done the P90X insanity stuff at home, I've done calisthenics, body weight things. I've done kind of everything. And then as far as like my training principles, my training philosophies, I've taken a little bit of everything from what I've done and personally, and then what I've learned through school or just practical application. And then how I apply that now, I would say most of the people that I work with are training with the intention of, yeah, they want to get out, and if they're, spending thousands of dollars to take ski trips with themselves or with their families or their friends, like they don't want to get out here to Colorado or wherever they're going and feel like crap on day 2 or day 3 and like have to stop skiing halfway through, or if they're taking a mountain biking trip, they want to be able to wake up and just keep going every day. So I program exercise in a way that, like you talked about in the beginning, the minimal effective dose, and for me that looks like a couple full body lift days, maybe 3, and then some conditioning days, more aerobic work. And that stuff, if it's 2 days in the gym and the conditioning stuff, sure, you can do it in the gym if you're not outside. But most of the people that I work with would rather just be out biking, hiking, playing outside. So I try to program it and design it all in a way that everything kind of is complementary. That not that
Uh-huh.
any one thing is gonna push or pull you out of what you want to do. That's the general thing, is be prepared to do anything and to feel really good. That way, whether it's a trip that you've been planning for months or somebody says, "Hey, like you want to go do this thing this weekend," that you can just wake up and be like, "Yep, cool, let's go." And then you wake up the next day and you don't feel like, a kicked-in trash can that you can just go and keep going and keep doing the things.
That's cool. So
So,
I mean, you have a gym nearby. It sounds like, right?
yeah, I've got a gym in town that I go to here, but also, I mean, I live out of my car 6 months out of the year, and I don't always have a gym. So when I do that, like I just carry a couple 53-pound kettlebells in my car, and I'll swing those around, or I'll do stuff with those. And it's like that's the point too. Like if I'm gonna talk about sustainability, well, I've had to live it, so I think I'm pretty good at kind of showing other people what that looks like. It's yeah, ideally there is a routine and there's consistency, but it doesn't always work like that. It doesn't always look super pretty. So again, if I can just take my training philosophies and my principles, and I have a ton of different ways that I can apply those, like it doesn't need to be in a gym, you know, every day or a few days a week. There's ways to do it. So that's kind of the philosophy that I like to take is just cool. Let me just take these principles and then find different ways to apply them.
That's great. That's great. So you said tell me about this. You said I live out of my car 6 months a year. Do you mean literally or
Yeah, quite
figuratively?
not quite literally. So this past summer was the fourth summer. I mean, there was a summer before this that I was in a camper, but yeah, I have a Subaru Outback that I've put a roof box on. I've put some racks on the top so I can carry stuff. I've got Starlink mounted on the roof, so I've got internet wherever I want. I've got a big battery in there. I've got a refrigerator. I've got a bed platform. I can eat really well. I can do work. I can sleep well. And then I can just go and spend a month in the desert in Moab and ride my bike and hang out with my friends and do work. And it's great. It's super fun.
So if you're living out of your car, are you? And you said you're hanging out with your friends. Do all your other friends live out of their cars too?
Yeah. Which is kind of what led me to, that's kind of a story that led me to Salida, if you want to get into that.
Yeah, because I want to share with people. I've seen pictures of it. You have to
Yeah.
explain to me what it is. Like you live in a very small place, right?
I mean, so yeah, I mean, in the car is a small place. Now this summer or this winter, I'm in a 2-bedroom cabin with a buddy. We're 5 minutes from the mountain, but I mean, I moved to Denver in October of 21, and I stayed with my friends' parents. I was there until April, May. But that winter, I was on like a big couple week long ski trip between Colorado and Utah, and I was out in Utah in Park City with friends, and the snow sucked. It was not great. It was a big dry spell, and I was just like, well, after my friends left, I could stay here. That was my plan, but the snow sucks. So I'm just gonna go back to Colorado, but I'm gonna stop in Moab because it looks like a cool place I've never been. And I mean, we've talked about it. You've been like to Arches, and that was the first trip that for me was like, this is incredible. And it's like, I gotta go back. So then I had a friend from home from Maryland who was out living that way. And I hit him up one day in late spring. I was like, hey, dude, you want to go mountain bike in Moab? And went out to mountain bike. We biked all day, ended up at a dive bar by chance. They had karaoke. I love karaoke. We met some people there. We hung out with them. We found out that we were all camping like around the same campsite. And then ended up extending my trip and stayed with them for like 2 weeks. But it was a caravan of van lifers, bus dwellers, car dwellers that had been traveling together for months at that point.
Road warriors, right?
Yeah. And at that point, because my plan that summer was to like that winter I had been, I would go to the mountains and I would sleep in the car for a few nights just to go snowboarding, which is what I started back home when I was broken in college, just to get more days
Uh-huh.
snowboarding. So I was like, oh, I'll just do that for the summer. And then I met a whole bunch of van lifers in Utah. And then I was like, oh, this is really cool. And it was like, some people who just work seasonal jobs, people who own their own businesses, who run big companies, who are just whatever, all of the different things and living in all different kinds of vehicles. And then there were some people who were like, yeah, I think we're going to go check out this place called Salida. And I was like, that sounds cool. I don't really have any plans. We're just moving out. And then I'm kind of just going to live in my car anyway. So I'll follow you guys. Got to Salida. It was awesome. And then through them met this guy, Chris, who's got a sweet property outside of town, doing a whole it's like a eco village, affordable housing, sustainability kind of thing, and did a workshop with him to learn how to build earth ships. And then one thing led to
Build
another.
what?
And
Say it again. Build what? Earth ships?
earth ships, which is somebody you'd probably be interested in talking to as far as some things go. But yeah, I ended up living
What's
in
an
his
earth ship?
yurts. It's basically a house built of trash. I mean, it's built of tires and, easily
Really?
sourced materials and off grid and super, super cool, super sustainable thing. But yeah, I ended up helping him build that for the summer, lived in his yurt that winter, and then did that for 3 years.
That's what I want to
So
ask you about the yurt,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's explain that because it's like a round thing, right? A little because I've seen pictures of it, right?
yeah. I mean, it's like a deck kind of base, and then I don't know what the square
How
footage
big
is
is it?
for.
Yeah, how many square foot? I was gonna say a couple hundred.
I think 4 something. I could be wrong on that.
Okay,
I'm not
okay.
super sure, but I mean, it's sweet. They're awesome. It's got a full kitchen, got a full bathroom. It's got all the things you can
That's
need.
important.
It's all off grid, solar, propane stove for heat. Like, it's pretty sweet. But yeah, I lived there for 3 years, and then just been doing this thing since. It's just been a combination of like, cool, build this business, play outside, build community, meet a bunch of cool people, and travel around and just keep doing that is kind of how I've been living.
So, like when you're traveling all around, whether it's 2 weeks in Park City, whether it's in Utah or wherever,
Mhm.
Moab, you're still able to do your work because of your Starlink, right?
Yeah, I've got this past summer, I got the mini one. I permanently, well, not permanently, but I've mounted it onto my roof. So it's like I can just be anywhere and work. It's great.
I can see it, man. I can see it. I can see the smile on your face. I think it's
Yeah.
really cool. I mean, so like, do you ever? I mean, you said a key word. You said you're building community, but are you always around the same people, or you're meeting new groups of people all the time?
It's kind of both. I mean, at this point, like, I have the local Salida community in town here, and then I've got what I call like the Nomad community, all my friends who live in vehicles and travel around. And it's fun too because now, like, so many of us, a handful of us, have ended up in Salida, whether it's short term, longer term. But it's great because I can be here. Typically, what I do now, I feel like, is I really like being here in the winter because I really like snowboarding. So I like to just get a place for the winter, hunker down, snowboard. And then in the summer or spring, I'll leave. And I typically spend every spring and fall in Moab, which with that Nomad community, we'll do like a big gathering or big party, and we'll somebody's private land, and we'll do like a land cleanup or help them work on their homestead, their property, whatever. And then I'll just spend some time with those people. And then like this year, I went out to Moab, and then went to California for a wedding, and then hung out with friends I know in California, either from home or from on the road, and went up to Oregon, hung out with friends from that I know on the road that are still in vehicles, or people that have just, decided to put roots down in all over the country. It's crazy. I can go like any big outdoor hub destination and find friends that are just, either there for a couple weeks or there because they've moved there now. So it's like, I feel like I've got community all over the country now, between home here and like everywhere. It's kind of crazy.
That's awesome. Hey, Christopher, we're gonna take a quick 80-second
Cool.
break. We'll be right back. I'm gonna talk about some roots. You talked about roots.
Yeah,
So hang
sure.
tight. We'll be right back.
Chiseled is presented by the Commodari Group of eXp Realty, led by your host, Rob Commodari. Are you planning to buy or sell? We know the process can feel stressful and frustrating. That's why Rob and his team focus on providing a personal touch and the best service and guidance during your transaction. The Commodari Group are top-tier professionals who deliver spectacular customer service. They provide expert advice on accurately pricing your home and making the entire process smooth and seamless. They simply get it done. Here's the connection to Chiseled. Many of the amazing guests you hear on this podcast are part of Rob's extended referral network. While the Commodari Group serves the Baltimore area, Rob can connect you with superb representatives across North America. Clients rely on this network because Rob actually cares about you and your family, treating your experience as if it was his own. Don't settle for less than the best. If you need a trustworthy and knowledgeable agent locally or across North America, Rob is the guy to call. Contact Rob today at 410-262-7396 or send him an email, rob@talktorob.com.
All right, welcome back. So, Christopher, this is fun for me to just watch because I've always envisioned just living off the land and stuff like that. But that's ship has sailed for me. But it's fun to watch you. So, I'm somewhat vicariously watching you and living through you because I think it's awesome. And you said some people lay down roots. Has anybody asked you? Have you ever thought about, okay, I got to settle down? Because I know you're living a life on your terms and what you like. Has that thought ever crossed your mind? Say, you know what? It's time for me to settle down and establish roots.
Yeah, I mean, it's before I even moved. I mean, I'm 31 now. Before I moved at 27, I was like, oh, I'm gonna get at least land or a property by 30. And now I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna put a time on it. But yeah, ultimately that is the goal. At some point, slow down, settle down somewhere. Like I could see myself here. I could see myself in some mountain town, and even if it's just I have a place, and maybe I'm there for 6 months out of the year, maybe I'm there all the time, or maybe if I go off and travel, whether domestically or internationally, and just rent it out to friends, Airbnb, something like. Ultimately, there's the goal to like have something of my own. But I don't know. I'm not as stressed to put a time on it at this point as I used to be.
Does it feel like work to you?
Sometimes. I mean, there's some aspects of it for sure, but overall, it's like I get to do whatever I want, really. And I've built it in a way that I don't have to be on a computer all the time. Like I don't have to be in a physical location. So, I mean, not really, I guess. There's aspects of it, sure. I don't love every single part of it, but overall, I wake up and it's just like, this is what I get to do. This is how life works. It's crazy.
Yeah. So do you have a favorite, all the travel you've done, do you have a favorite mountaintop that you've climbed, hiked, ridden?
I mean, as far as snowboarding goes, I really love Monarch, which is, it's 5 minutes up the road from here. Like there's far bigger mountains, there's far more technical mountains, but I love it just because it's close, it's small. It's, most of the time when people come out to Colorado, they think Breckenridge, Vail, Keystone, Aspen, all these places that just get a ton of people. But here we're far enough away from those mountains that it's like, it doesn't really get that crowded. The snow is really good, but I can go up on like a Tuesday and not make any plans. And I can find like 10 to 15 of my friends without trying. And it's like, that's awesome. That's why I love it so much.
So I picture you in the wilderness in the mountains. I mean, you actually have internet connection. You have phone.
Oh yeah,
you connect that way.
I feel like everybody thinks it's like, oh, he's just like living like a crazy wild man. I'm like, there's a Walmart 20 minutes down the road.
That's great. That is great.
I mean, it's a small town, but like, it's not like it's uncomfortable. Like there's amenities, there's the things. It is a small town, but it's cool because you can walk around town, you can see people, and it's, I don't know, the energy is just different in a small local mountain town coming from Baltimore. It's just a way different thing.
That's great, man. So in all these travelings and the mountains and the biking and all that, does it have? And we talked a little bit about this before we got on. Does it have any notion of a spiritual feel to you at all?
I feel like, yeah, for sure. I mean, there's definitely something. Growing up, being raised Catholic in the church, like, even though now that's not something that's as much as the forefront of my life, I look at it as like, this didn't just happen by itself, right? That's a crazy thing to think about. Like, no matter like what religion or what you people believe, it's like, I support all of it. Like, as long as you like, yeah, there's something out there for sure. I don't know. I haven't at this point in my life, I haven't labeled it, or like, there's not any one thing that I feel so called to, like I guess I used to, but like to look around at the places that I get to hang out in with the people, that's like, this doesn't just happen by accident. There's no way.
So you in awe of some of the things you see and experience?
For sure. Every day it's like, like go outside and do something. It's just like, this is crazy that we get to live here and do this with these people in this place. Like, for sure.
Yeah. Now, like you said, like how does it, like you made that comment, like you have to ask yourself, how could this happen? That it didn't just come out of nowhere. Or, so, like when you have that thought, do you? And I'm not trying to take you down any direction. Do you feel like there's a spirit behind it? You know, you grew up Catholic, so that you heard the God thing, which I believe in. But do you feel like there's something up there that's bigger and more powerful than us as we sit here today?
There's gotta be. I feel like it'd be
Yeah.
crazy to think that there's nothing. Like, I don't
Yeah.
at this point, like, I don't feel like I've gotta put a label on it being any one thing, but it's like, there's gotta be something. Like, this is it's just too good. Like,
Does it move you? Like, do you get this like humming in your heart when you experience these things?
yeah, especially, like, on a full moon night, if we go to the top of the pass at 12,000 feet and hike into the backcountry with all of our friends and get to snowboard under the full moon, it's like, this is crazy. It'd be crazy to think that there's not something bigger at play.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome, man. So you're 12,000 feet up. You ever get a good look in a clear night, like of the Milky Way? Do you get to see that?
Oh, every night. Yeah,
Yeah, that's cool, right?
it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when we were like, we had a place up at Deep Creek, in West Maryland, Deep Creek,
Mhm.
McHenry, Maryland, and we would go up there, and I used to love it at night on a clear night. We would just like lay down and on the ground and just stare up the sky and see the stars. You see the Milky Way, and my son Robbie would take the camera up and he'd take all these great
Oh,
pictures. I'm like,
yeah,
oh
I
my
love doing that.
gosh, man, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, have you ever seen anything like the Northern Lights? Have you experienced that at all?
Yeah, that was a couple weeks ago here, like, because 'cause we're living at, like we live at, like, 9,500
Uh-huh.
feet, but the other night when they made their way around, we just jumped in my buddy's car, drove up there's an old mine road behind the house and just got some good looks at it, and it's just like, we get to live here and just see this, like, this is crazy.
Yeah, yeah. So what's it look like going forward for you? Like, I know you said you're not ready to put roots down yet, but what's the future look like?
I mean, how I see it going now is I've in the last year and a half, I've kind of built what is the current model of my client delivery within my business and coaching, and I like it a lot. And now it's just like, cool. Well, I want to keep, growing that thing to some kind of just bigger than what it is. Like I don't see myself. I want to keep it as just me. Like I've got a model now that I don't need a team. I don't want to have other coaches. I don't want to be responsible for people. I just want to take what I have and just put it with to my clients and the people around me, and then so grow that thing, have more impact. Most of what I've been focusing on with it has just been like the training side, the strength and conditioning side. I've thought about community is important to me, and for a while it's just like, oh, like I want to build community within this thing. And what I've realized is it's hard to do that online. Like if you look at
Yeah.
what successful gyms like a CrossFit, a F45, yoga studios, it's because there's this in-person thing. Like there's a community aspect. So now I'm like, cool. I'm going to start doing that. And I've been really good at doing it with my friends and people around me. So now that like this year, the first thing I'm going to do is a cat skiing trip at Monarch with some of my clients. And it's like, that's what I want to take the business to. The next step is like, yeah, keep doing, the fundamental things of training, strength, conditioning, nutrition, but put more purpose behind it and get people together. We train to do cool things. And I like getting people together. So I'm going to do that now. And, the
Yeah.
cat skiing trip this year, maybe in the spring and fall to go mountain biking in Moab or Park City, like places that I really like to spend time in that I think are really special for a lot of reasons. Now, like show people why I love them so much, and then just do more of that and see where that takes me. But then also travel more. Like I would like to do more international travel. I would like to see more of the country. Like I've seen a lot, but there's some places that I haven't been. There's some places that I want to spend more time in. So I think just, going all in on business and life things and keep having them build and grow together and then see what people I cross paths with and what relationships I form along the way and just throw gas on that fire.
There you go. So you talked about these trips, and I know last time we met or we saw each other, I mentioned this, and I haven't done it yet, but it brought to mind again that her name's Lauren Donahue, and I've interviewed her on
Mhm.
this podcast, and she's a retreat coach, and I
Oh,
think it'd be
cool.
a great, yeah, I think it'd be great for you to chat with her. Where it
Yeah,
goes, it's up to you
sure.
too, but because she does all these trips, and she makes a retreat out of it, and they do exercise and experiences and so on and so forth. That'd be a great connection for you. So
That sounds
you
awesome.
made Yeah, it'll be great. She's awesome. She's really awesome. When the idea, because you said it's just going to be you, is the idea to take somebody, coach them for a period of time, and then they move on and you get the next one? Because how do you, I can't imagine scaling something like that if you want to be the guy and you only want to be you and you don't want to build a team. So how does that work?
So right now, like there's basically 2 tiers. This might evolve again, but I have the community level, which is far as they get workouts, they get nutrition, they get, a small group or a group coaching call or workshop once a month. They get a group chat. And then there's my one-on-one clients, and they get all the same, except the workouts are customized. We do a call every other week, just one-on-one. They get, weekly check-ins, and we have more direct one-on-one communication. So within both of those, I have the option for people to take it weekly if they don't want a big commitment time-wise, or I try to incentivize, if you save for 3 or 6 months, do something like that, you save more money. But I have people who try it out for a couple weeks and you're like, yeah, it's just not a good fit for me. And that's fine. Like
Okay.
there are some people who just like, they need an in-person trainer. Some people just need a babysitter, and that's cool.
Yeah.
That's not what I do. So, I have people who stay for a couple weeks. I've got people that, maybe they do it for 3 months and then they've learned enough to be on their own, or they stay for years. My goal, and I try to frame it as like, I don't want to build a dependency model. I don't want people to feel like, oh, well, if I stop training, I don't know what I'm going to do without Chris. Like, what now? Like, no, like I want people to learn and to get better, to have a great experience. And if, at the end of, if they sign up for 3 months and they decide, yeah, I want to keep going, it's because they like it and they enjoy it, not because they feel like they need it and they're going to crash and burn without it.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, good for you. The other question, you made a comment, and I've heard this a lot lately. And you said, I want to be all in on businesses and life. So what is that? What does all in mean to Christopher Fusco?
I mean, I just don't want to have regrets, as far as like, I feel like there's so much that I feel like growing up, it's like, oh, I wish we would have not sold this house, or I wish we would have done this. I wish I would have tried that. And it's just like, I don't want to have to say that. I want to just be able to look back and be like, yeah, I'm proud of this business that I've built. I'm proud of this life that I've built. I'm proud of the people that I've got around me. And I just want to just add depth to those few domains of life that are really important to me.
Yeah, I got to tell you, when I see your posts and I see your pictures, I'm like that. And I say this without even you saying what you just said. I'm like, that's a guy that's living with no regrets.
Yeah.
When you're living on your terms, I can totally see that, and I'm inspired by you, and I'm proud of you, if you don't mind me saying. So I think it's so fun to watch you, man. It's so fun to watch. So I'm going to ask this question, and I know you said there's something out there, right? So going forward, and I'm gonna, I believe in God. I'm going to say, where in your life do you feel God or something bigger than you is going to be chiseling you? How much more chiseling is there left for Christopher Fusco? And you're young still.
I think there's a ton left. I think there's infinite. It's like whether I look at it as like there's gifts, there's things that have opportunities that have been given to me or presented that I've leaned into, or maybe should have leaned into, or there's whether that's good or bad. There's good things, but I think all of that comes from something, and it's just up to me of what do I do with it? Like, do I lean into the good? Do I lean into the bad? Like, ideally, yeah, you should. That's
right.
So I think that's going to keep happening, and it's like it definitely comes from somewhere, and I think it's my responsibility to lean into it.
Yeah, for sure. So is there a specific area do you feel you need to be chiseled more in? Where you are now in life, I say, because I mean that'll change, along the way.
Yeah, all of it. I don't I don't know. I look at the domains of like family, physical health, business, like friendships, all these things, but I don't know if I could just pick just one. Right.
That's okay. Because you named a few earlier, but it's. I mean, that's what this is all about. I mean, because you're not the finished product yet, right?
Right. No way. Yeah. There's more to go for sure.
Yeah, so we're all a work in progress, and I should say we're
Absolutely.
all a constant work in progress because we are.
Yeah.
Now they're the people that maybe they wither away because they're done. They feel they're done, and they don't want to keep growing. Because are you a big personal growth and development guy at all? Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, that's something I've like really gone more into. I mean, once I started my own business, it was just like a lot of it was like, cool. There's all these business things, and there was definitely growth there. And then there's a mentor that I started working with 2.5 years ago, and it was funny. Like I would go to his office hours or things with tactical business questions, and then we would get a lot into the personal things. And then I found out like the more that I just leaned in on the personal growth side of things instead of business, well, then the business and everything else just got better as a result.
That's what happens. That's what
Yeah.
happens. Good for you, man. Is there a book? Are there books or authors that you read or like to read?
Mm. Yeah, there's a handful that I'm trying to think. Naval Ravikant, his is really, I don't think I have it. No, it's probably in storage. I can't remember the name of his
That's
book, but his is really, really good. You should check out Naval's for sure.
yeah. How do you spell that?
Naval
And last name?
Ravikant. I think he just has one book that somebody basically compiled based off of his tweets and podcasts, but
Okay.
he's got a
Good.
crazy good philosophy on like wealth, health, and happiness.
That's great. Do you read? Do you have time to read while you're out there? I'm
Oh
sure you
yeah.
do. But
Yeah, I like reading for sure.
Do you have a
It's
book you're
like
reading right now?
I've got two. I'm reading one of Anthony Bourdain's books, and then Russell Brunson's Expert Secrets are the two that I've got right now going. So
There you go. Good for you,
yeah,
man. Good for you. So, Christopher,
yeah.
man, I'm so impressed by you, inspired by you. Like I said, proud of you. So that's really good.
Thanks.
So, if somebody wanted to get a hold of you to have this virtual training and experience with Christopher Fusco's
Yeah,
experiencing and living on the wild like the mountain man, how would they get a
yeah.
hold of you?
Two best possible ways are probably my Instagram, which is at chris.fusco, just first and last name, or send me an email, chris@trainsfp for Summit Fitness and Performance.com. But those are two of the best ways.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff, man. I am so grateful for you, man. I got a smile from ear to ear if people can see the video, and
Thanks.
so does Christopher because
Yeah,
it's awesome. It's awesome. And maybe one of these days I want to visit you in Colorado. Like I've done
yeah.
the Pikes Peak. I've done the what's it, the Mountain Pass. I've driven through.
Well, we can do some fun stuff for sure.
I mean, I love it out there. I'm in all that stuff. And my wife and I, Debbie, she likes to,
Yeah.
we like to hike and we go out there. So anyway, man, this has been a true pleasure for me.
Me
And,
too.
yeah. And and you did an awesome job as your first podcast, buddy. You're going to do many more as you continue to grow and succeed. Oh my God, my pleasure. So look, until next time, everybody, thank you, Christopher. Let's go get chiseled.